Right. Fun stuff. So 2025 started out pretty great so far, eh? Most of our lives are compacted into tiny glass rectangles, so that's cool. And the rectangle, it feeds us memes and a bunch of stuff about cats, so that's good. But it's constantly interrupted by war crimes and advertisements, so you gotta take what you can get, right? And now most of our leaders are either full-on fascists or cowards addicted to money. So who's ready to laugh? You have to. You have no other choice. So in these uncertain times, you really have to take that one idea you thought about trying, but you weren't sure you should. Go get it with gusto, because no one knows how much time we have left, right? And so you got to approach this idea the way someone at an 80s toy company, an 80s toy/cartoon company, would pursue an idea, because some wild shit came out of the 80s. I was a kid in the 80s. It was wild as shit. Anyone remember Masters of the Universe? Yeah! He-Man and Skeletor and all those ridiculous people. Could you imagine, you just have to be like a board member that pitches that kind of idea. You got to have that energy, right? Okay. You just got to picture that kind of thing. Guy runs into the boardroom. He's like, Jim, I have an idea. Okay, Jim, what do you have? It's the 80s, there's too many gyms, right? It's like, well, I have an idea for a show. Okay, Fantasy Planet, there's a prince, right? But when evil strikes, he turns into a giant tan barbarian wearing basically nothing at all. It's 1980, whatever the fuck. We have so many barbarians, but I think one more will be okay. Yes, that's what I thought. So, barbarian guy. He also has a big-ass green tiger, which he rides into battle. This is the van you had in the 70s. You had that shit painted on the van. Shut up, Jim. You love the van. I love the van. It's now going to be a TV show. Hit me with it. Okay, so the evil he's going to fight, right? Blue bodybuilder with a skull face. I'm listening. We're going to have lots of skull stuff. We can have this giant castle called Grey Skull. It's skull themed, right? Well, yeah, the villain's got to live somewhere, right? Skull-faced bodybuilder lives in a skull castle. No, that's the twist. The bodybuilder, he gets his power from there, okay? You got to have a good twist. All right, where does Skull-faced man live? Mountain full of snakes. Print it. A bunch of lines of Bolivian marching powder later, fucking idea achieved. Right? Go get your idea the way that the gyms would do it, okay? The gyms know what they're doing. But, yeah, childhood, it's a thing, and it doesn't last. And then eventually you turn into some kind of annoying teenager, which I did, because I'm here now, right? So, you have to do something stupid as a teenager, because that's kind of the rules. There's no other thing, you have to. Mine was hitchhiking. Now, if you don't know what hitchhiking is, it's like it's the free, sketchy type of Uber. That's what it is. And so, I didn't hitchhike across the country. I would sneak out late at night with my friends, and we would hitchhike from the 7-Eleven to the Cineplex, which was closed. Because I am attracted to liminal and desolate spaces. I am an elder goth. That is what happens, right? So, but the thing is, there's a lot of sketchy people out there. One time, I almost got kidnapped by biker MILFs. Great pitch for a movie. Don't ever live it. We're gonna leave that one over there. But I remember one of the weird rides that it got me off the hitchhiking. This old guy just pulls in with this ancient truck, okay? It's falling apart in several spaces. Opens the door, big bushy beard, Technicolor fur trench coat, tells us to get the fuck in. We do. We almost fall out because there is a hole in his floor. He immediately peels off. We can see the road just going by in that floor. Just terrified. We barely had any time to register that he offered us crack. I'm from a town, and I do stupid things, but I'm not going to do that. So we said no. Otherwise, nice bloke. He got us to where we needed to go. He dropped my friend off, and then he dropped me off. And as I'm exiting the vehicle, he's like, hey, kid. And I'm like, oh God, okay. I turn around, and he looks out across the seats, and he's like, you ever do the nasty on an ironing board? I am 15, but I'm like, no. And he looks at me like he's just gonna drop the biggest wisdom on the planet. He looks at me and goes, don't. Slams the door, peels off at fucking speed. And safe to say, when you have a visitation from the truck cryptid, you stop hitchhiking. That's what you do. Don't fucking do it, right? And so I had to find another hobby as a teenager, which to become like an edgy alternative kid. That's what you do. And you want to piss people off, otherwise you lose your card. So I had to be selective about it. It was about the same time in my town that the pro-life people started marching, right? Those anti-abortion, pro-life people. Those people tend to also hate immigrants for some reason. I don't know, I can't ride that particular roller coaster of logic, but it is what it is. So I used to like shout at them and tell them that babies were the illegal immigrants that they should be afraid of. Check it, okay? So they shack up in a uterus, right? And they take, and they take, and they take, and they give nothing back, right? I'm talking to bigots right now, so I'm trying to speak their language. And I'm like, and when they finally get out, right? They are crying nonstop for handouts. All the time. Handout. Say what you want about the awesome, like, immigrant that lives on the end of the street. His house is always smelling awesome from all the awesome food. Say what you want about that guy, but he will not wake you up at 3 a.m. demanding titty. Probably. I don't know. And the most egregious thing is that the babies get here, and they don't even speak the language. Right? They're like trying to tell you shit like goo 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 ga 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 ga. It's like, look, I don't know your void language, baby. We speak English here. And French. So they didn't like me for that. I grew out of that a bit, and I went on to the phase where you have to think of the idea. You know the idea that's going to make you rich, you don't have to fucking work? Everybody has this. At the time, I found out about furries, right? People know about furries. I ain't going to explain it. You're going to have to use your rectangle to look it up. But like... And I was weirded out at first, but I'm like, oh, these people are fine. They're amazing. I love them. You know, because we're told to venerate people who like are straight-laced, suits. And you know what people in suits bring you? Advertisements and war crimes. That's what they bring you. You know what furries do? They dress up like a raccoon and fuck about it. Which is an amazing thing. They keep the dry cleaners in business. It's all good, right? My idea was to open up a nightclub for furries called Claw Machine.
Yes!
We have a whole theme, right? Like, you know, big claw above the dance floor, surrounded. You know, I mean, in hindsight, I'm glad I didn't take out the loan for that one. That's good. But you get older, and you get to your 20s, your 30s, and for me, my 40s, and like, the only real good thing about aging is you get really confident in what you can do. Like, no one can really bother you anymore. Like, you can all relate, right? If you're older in the crowd, like, people try to insult you, you're like, who cares? One guy is like, I remember some dude just called me a motherfucker, and I'm like, it's not an insult, man. It's a fucking pastime. Don't judge my hobbies. Don't do that. I'll see you at the breakfast table, kid. Moms love me. But yeah, and eventually, like, you know, you work a bunch of jobs, get a bunch of experience. I had a weird job. I did maintenance for a nightclub, which had a parking garage underneath it. And you get up to things in that parking lot, like people got up to things. But most of it is pre-drinking. But one time, I saw just a shit ton of Bud Light cans in a corner. And I'm like, who wants to get bloated and not drunk at all and dance? Woo! Like, not my thing. But hey, maybe it's for you. And there's sketchy people, right? I remember like one guy runs up to me and I'm like, oh God, he's like, what time is fuck? Dude, I don't know. If I knew, I'd be there. So like, I just put my arm around him like every minute of every day, brother. Here you go. One guy, you know, he asked me where the bathroom was. Problem is, he was just roaring a piss in the corner while he asked me. He tried to distract me, right? So I just pretend he wasn't doing it, and I started giving him directions, and he felt so... Hey! I have to project now. I'll wrap it up. Because I'm about there anyway. So one guy, okay? He's like, he's probably the parquet cryptid thing in my life. He's staggering towards me through the whole thing. And I'm ready to get stabbed. So I'm preparing my life, right? And when he finally gets to me, he's like, hey, you ever do the nasty on an ironing board?